All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show. So, a moment of silence for the precious metals and Kitco community. Many of us started our journey trying to find info on precious metals, and without a doubt, for almost everyone, Daniela Cambone is someone that everyone comes across eventually. She consistently brought gold and silver news and interviews to all of us pretty much every day. So obviously a guy like myself doing this YouTube channel was inspired by this. She'll be heading elsewhere and we'll make an announcement to where she will be heading soon. But as far as this video is concerned, I wanted to shine a light on her time with Kitco, and also I wanted to celebrate her tenure there as well. Now, before we get into that, just have to say, if you're new to this channel, please hit that big red subscribe button right down below. Also, please hit the like button. Helps to get this economic evangelism right on out there to the masses to bring more people into precious metals. Now, the great thing about this piece here by Kitco is that it highlights the beginning of Kitco news, and Daniela was one of the first people to be a part of the program. Now check it out. The title's called "As Gold Soars, Daniela Cambone Says Goodbye to Kitco News." So let's just read a quick blurb here to kind of give you guys a background of the early days of Kitco, and I kind of found this very entertaining to read. So let's get started. People didn't have time for us. That's why I will always be grateful to certain guests, including David Morgan, Frank Holmes, George Jarrow, and Brent Cook, who spoke to us when no one would. Our audio even stopped working during the David Morgan piece, but he was patient and kind with us and let us refilm, Cambone recalled, laughing. Now, that is actually a very, nerve-wracking thing to happen. I've done this a couple of times before in my past, where I've done some interviews and stuff, and when you're interviewing somebody, you barely know them, you want them to think that you're doing something of note, and then something like that happens and you're just like, man, how do I make this, I hope that they're understanding of what just happened. But let's continue. Fast forward to today, Kitco News is a juggernaut in the mining and metal space and considered the leading authority when it comes to precious metals news. With the largest news desk dedicated to the subject in the world, Kitco News covers close to 20 conferences annually. Today, it gives me such a sense of pride that everyone would want to come on the show. But we are very selective in our sourcing and who we should bring on, she said. Being on our program is now seen as a benchmark of success. Cambone moved to New York City in 2015, and the brand's recognition as a Wall Street financial news player was solidified. We partnered with Jim Cramer and TheStreet.com, and that introduced us to a brand new audience, she explained. I always believed in the team and the brand. That's why I also went after the big interviews. I never thought, oh, they won't come on our show. That belief and persistency led us to interviewing big names, including Mark Cuban, Kevin O'Leary, Steve Forbes, Frank Giustra, Damon John, Rand Paul, Newt Gingrich, George Foreman, Max Kaiser. The list goes on, Cambone said. She added, I remember the first time we pitched Mark Cuban, he actually wrote back. I was ecstatic. I received an email that simply said, no. I took it and framed it and saw it as, well, at least he wrote back. 2 years later, I had a fantastic one-on-one with him. I told him the story and we laughed. A veteran broadcast journalist with over a decade of financial news experience, Cambone will continue working in the field. I will be soon announcing where I am headed. Regardless, I will always reflect back on my time at Kitco with such fondness. It will always be a part of me, and I hope I will always be considered part of the Kitco family. Now, for a viewer as myself, you can't really think about Kitco without thinking about Daniela. And the two pretty much go hand in hand, and they're almost synonymous at this point. So good luck to the KITCO team for moving forward. Gonna have some shoes to fill, and I know there's some guys like David Lin who are doing a really good job as well, and so many others that are on there. So all that to say, on the off chance that Daniela happens to see this YouTube video, on behalf of everyone sharing news on gold and silver, we have to thank you for your time at KITCO. All right, guys, thanks again for watching this video. Please give it a like. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion.